Hello everyone and welcome to this broadcast. My name is Busigu, a presenter with Yanga. We're very excited to have you here this afternoon, so thank you for tuning in. Now we have a very exciting discussion taking place regarding flu and vaccinations. It's that time of the year, COVID has been on the tip of everyone's tongues, and of course flu is just as important and very worth discussing. So this afternoon we have a very exciting guest, Pome Knight, our pharmacist, who will be discussing more of us to inform us more about flu, vaccinations, and information that we should know to keep us safe, and just in general, what we should be aware of with regards to flu. How's it going this afternoon, Pome?
I'm very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for asking. Very excited to conduct this interview. So once again, thank you very much for joining us here today. My first question to really get things kicked off, what would you say, in your view, is the aim of the flu vaccination program?
The aim of this program is to offer protection against the effects of flu to as many as eligible people as possible, particularly those most at risk.
Thank you very much, Pome. And just building off that, what would you say, or how would you define, essentially, what is the flu? And isn't it just a heavy cold? How would you explain what the flu is?
Okay, the flu isn't just a heavy cold. The flu is a common viral illness, rather an infection, that could lead to complications. Now, it's normally spread through coughs and sneezes, but put it this way, having a heavy bout of cold having a heavy bout of flu is much worse than having a cold. Now, for healthy individuals, recovery is normally within 2 to 7 days, but for some others, wow, you may end up in hospital due to complications. Some people even experience permanent disability or even death.
Oh my goodness, that seems like quite an extreme in terms of what can happen and things of that nature. So I think very important that we're aware of, just how far and how severe things can get on that. And, just going one step further, what would you say are the first signs of flu, and are they different to COVID-19? And I bring up COVID-19 because that is the conversation of 2020. It's the reason why we're doing this conversation like this remotely and lots of other things. But just again, what would you say are the first signs of flu, and are they different from COVID-19? What's your views on that?
Okay. Yeah, the first signs of flu usually come on quite quickly. You get a sudden fever, a temperature of 38 degrees centigrade, which is equivalent to 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit and above. You get chills, headaches, tiredness and weakness, sneezing, difficulty in sleeping, loss of appetite, achy, muscles, limbs and joint pains, abdominal pains, diarrhea, nausea and vomiting, just to mention a few. Now, with COVID-19, you get a high temperature, a new continuous cough, and you may experience a loss or change to your sense of smell or taste.
Thank you, Pome. Again, as we've heard there's lots of different things that one can experience, and I think it's very important that we understand, or just aware at the very least, the distinctions between, the first signs of flu and how they differ from COVID. Now, here's a bit of a different question. So I'm 24 years old right now, and from what you're saying, flu can have a variety of effects. So someone like me, I would love to have the vaccination. If I wanted to get a free flu vaccination, just essentially who is eligible for that? So who can get the free flu vaccination? Is someone like me able to get it, or essentially who falls in that bracket?
Okay, you did say you're 24 years old, right?
Yeah.
Well, the NHS funded free flu vaccination program is being offered to those who are eligible, and that includes people aged 65 years and over, or pregnant women, close contacts of immunocompromised people or individuals. You also have carers, as well as those who reside within long-stay residential care homes or other long-stay care facilities. However, this year it's also been extended to the 50s to 64-year-olds. And the reason being is because it is at this age that hospitalization due to COVID-19 starts to increase. Also, it's been extended to school children in year 7, as well as household contacts of those on the NHS shielded patients list.
Right. Cool. Thank you very much for that, Pome. And my next question is for sort of all of those out there that might have their concerns with vaccinations. I mean, I know I have mine. And recently we saw in the news with the new COVID-19 vaccinations, there are some side effects that can come with them and that people need to be aware of them. And if you do have side effects, that can affect whether or not you should actually take them. So my next question to you is, are there any side effects that people should be aware of with these vaccinations? And if so, what
Okay.
are they?
Yeah. Okay. So pertaining to the flu vaccination, we have the nasal vaccine, which is most commonly used in children. And side effects from that includes headaches, stuffy or runny nose, a bit of tiredness, as well as some loss of appetite. Now, with the injected vaccine, which is mostly used for adults, you will probably get a sore arm at the site of injection, a low-grade fever, as well as headache. But in terms of serious side effects, they are extremely rare.
Thank you very much for that, Pome. And my next question is, well, bringing it back to COVID a little bit there. So COVID has pretty much been the reason why everything in the world has changed shape and changed form. And so, COVID has really taken the priority in that sense. So why are we worrying about the flu if COVID-19 is the priority and has really changed the way in this crazy way? What's your perspective on that, Pome?
Okay, my perspective is people think that having a cold or a bad cold is the same as flu. Now, this is not the case, as a heavy bout of flu is much worse than the cold. Like I said, it could lead to serious complications. We're talking about pneumonia. You could get meningitis, encephalitis, which is an infection of the brain. With septic infections, you can actually get, it's really quite serious, life-threatening. It's a life-threatening infection that can affect the whole of your body. Now, we need to be so careful, and that's why we are urging everyone who is eligible to take up the free flu vaccination this winter, so as to, get yourself protected, before the flu virus circulates. Now, Public Health England has done a research, and they suggest that a co-infection with COVID-19 and the flu is actually associated with a greater risk of more severe illness and even death. Now, we know the NHS is already under a lot of pressure, and we do not want any more pressure on the NHS when they should be dealing with the cases of COVID-19. So my shout out here today is, please get the flu vaccination, because it will help to protect you this winter.
Sure. Thank you very much for that. And I think it's very nice that you gave, information around the NHS and all they've been doing and what we should be doing to help, mitigate the effects of, overpopulation, overcrowding in the hospitals insofar as people being ill. So I think it's very important people know that, and they do their bit to help ensure the NHS isn't overloaded, especially as we go further into the winter season. And my final question, Pome, is for those listeners out there that want more information, where can they go to get this information? Where would you recommend for us?
Okay, let's start. You can contact your GP surgeries, or you could visit your pharmacies and find out about the free flu vaccines. At the same time, if you are pregnant, or for all pregnant women, you could actually contact, again, your pharmacy, GP surgery, or your midwife, who will be able to shed more light and give you more information regarding the flu vaccine. And there is a website. It's www.nhs.uk/flu vaccine. I will say that again. It's www.nhs.uk/flu vaccine.
Right, Pome, thank you very much for that. And that essentially concludes our interview and discussion around the flu and vaccinations this afternoon. So from all of us here at the team, and from me personally, thank you very much for sharing your time and providing us with more information. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our interview. So thank you very much for tuning in to hear this discussion around the flu and around vaccines. We've had our guest here this afternoon, Pome Knight, the pharmacist, who has informed us about the flu, vaccinations, differences from COVID-19, and where you can find more information. So from all of us at the team, We wish you well, and most importantly, stay safe and please stay informed. I'm Norman Busigu, your presenter. Take care.